beauties. Thank you so much again for joining me, your girl Beautifully Flawed, and of course I am RB. Now if you want to see how I got this look, just stick around and I'll show you exactly how it's done. Now guys, this is 2 shadows. This is a 2 shadow method, so if you're not good at blending, no worries, I'll show you exactly how you need to do to get this look. Now guys, if you haven't yet subscribed, please do so, and of course leave a girl a like and a comment and share with a friend who has a friend who has a friend who needs to know what's happening over here. And don't forget honey, rock them flaws. Yeah, rock your flaws. And thanks again until we meet again. Yes, it is. So getting straight into it. So we're gonna be outlining our brows. So getting the brows done. I'm using here my Jordana retractable pencil in Lavish brown. I so love this pencil, and the fact that it's inexpensive as well gets the job done just the same. Alright, so using our spoolie, of course, getting our brows taken care of. But as I said in the intro, ladies, it's all about the 2 shadow method. This is pretty simple, and I just want to say you don't have to use the colors nor the palettes that I've used. Now I'll just explain that I used the Toffee in the LA Girl Pro Conceal, and that's what I used to outline and clean up my brows. And I'm now going on in with my trusty Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush. Yes, that is what I'm using, and I just love this. So this is a trick that I've wanted to show you ladies in previous videos, but I'm just now getting to it. So if you want to get that perfect arch and you don't know how to, that's basically a way you can. So you lift your brows, it's going to show you a perfect arch. And I'm going on top with Black Opal in the shade Carob. Of course, now I'm just priming my lid with S.he Toffee, and this is so I can lay my shadows down. So getting my lids prepped so I can have a perfect surface to work with when laying down my eyeshadows. So here I'm taking my Sasha Buttercup and I'm using my setting brush by Real Techniques to just set my lids, and this is so I have a smooth and a mattifying surface to work with. This helps to hold the oils at bay and keeps my eyeshadows in place much longer. So of course I'm going on in with the Berries by Juvia's, and I'm using that big tapered eyeshadow brush, and I'm going in that shade that I showed you. It's like a berry kind of shade, but it's like a light berry compared to the darker one that's in the palette. All right, so ladies, for this two shadow method, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be building the color in my crease, and as I go along and build, I'm going to then blow it out, blend it upwards. All right, so to get that effect of having your crease darker and a perfect blend like that of a transition color, you want to go on in and build up your shadow. You don't have to pack, just go on in with a big old fluffy brush, like what I'm doing, and just blend. Alright, so here I'm taking a much smaller brush, and what I'll be doing is I'll now be packing the same color in my crease. Alright, so first I used a big brush, and that is to lay down the same color but to blend it out. So that's the first step. Lay your color down and blend it out upwards to your brow bone, and then take a much smaller brush and concentrate your shade directly in the crease area. Now what this will do, it's going to give an illusion that you're using a darker color, which you're not. It's the same color, it's just that you're building up in one area. And just like you would with another shade, you want to make sure that it is perfectly blended out at the edges, at the edge. So now I'm going in with my concealer, the brush that I use to clean to buff out, my concealer. And I'm just using this to clean up my lid and also give my lid, to give the shadow a particular shape. Now this is because I don't want to, one, cut my crease, and two, I want my shadow to have a perfect surface to hold to. All right. As you can see, I did the other eye, so I'm using my finger, and this is my best friend. Before I could use brushes. My finger was my first tool, and when I say my first tool, I literally mean it was my foundation brush, it was my puffer brush, it was my eyeshadow brush, it was all the brushes that you could imagine that I needed to use. All right, so using my finger, I'm just pressing the shadow onto my lid. I find that it's much easier, and I'm able to lay down. I get a better color payoff as it relates to pressing the shimmer. This works perfect for shimmers. For some reason, the finger works better for shimmers for me than even my very brushes. Of course, to get it seamless, I'm going to go back into the first shade. All right, so I'm going to be blending. We're just going to be reinforcing the color in my crease and getting it blended perfectly, because I don't want there to be an obvious gap or line between my lid nor my crease shade. So as I had said previously, doing the 2 shadow method, ladies, you can always explore with your colors. And if you're not sure what to use, you can always pull up a color wheel, because that helps. Or you can also look at looks that other makeup artists have done, and it helps. Once you get into the habit of doing this, I promise you the colors will start coming to you naturally. But until then, nothing is wrong with using a color wheel. I chose to use these colors because somehow I just like how they would look. And of course, as you can see, I'm just going back and forth, and this is really to get me the perfect blend that I desire. Now I'm back again with my lashes on and my liner is in place. I'm using the S.he Makeup Oil Primer. For me, I love this primer. I do have dry skin, and using this primer, it just gets it done. So I'm primed and I'm also moisturized in the same breath, and that is beautiful for me. That is something that I appreciate from a product. 2-in-1. So let me also point out the foundation that I'm using. It is by Kiss, and it's called their Pro Touch Liquid Foundation. It is not a full coverage foundation, however, it is buildable. For me, I really only ever used just one go. I don't necessarily have to go back to build up. I personally don't have a lot of blemishes to hide. The only thing that I can say that I have are dark circles under eye. But using my concealer under eye does hide that. So I'm just letting you ladies know it is not a full coverage foundation. What I want to also say, guys, as you might take note, I am pushing the product into my skin. Never swipe. Swiping only moves the product from one place to the other, and as it dries down, it's going to dry down, not only sheer, but it's going to also have a white hue or a white cast to it. So again, always press your product into your skin, buff it out but never swipe or wipe. So I'm using here my Jeffree Star sponge, and I'm just using this to take, and it's damp. My sponge is always damp, and I'm just using it to take off any excess product as well as to push it into the skin. And this also gives you like an airbrush finish. It gets everything to come together, giving you that flawless looking foundation. So going on in with my foundation brush, there's no extra product on there, and I'm just buffing out the edges of the concealer, which is Toffee by the way, making sure that you're not seeing any harsh lines between the two. And of course, this is the Sasha Buttercup setting powder, blowing off any excess product that I have on there. And with my damp sponge, I'm just pressing the product into my skin. I don't bake. I've said this before and I think I'm repeating myself too many times, but yes, so not to bake, just pressing it into my skin. Also, ladies, point to no. Taking pictures, you realize you're getting flashback. Two things to consider. Make sure that your concealer that you're laying down, it's not too much. Being too much is it's going to blend too far and most of your face will be white. That's one. Two, you want to get a good setting powder. And for me, I can recommend the Airspun, the Coty Airspun, as well as the Sasha Buttercup. So again, ladies, to help with that flashback, make sure you're not using too much product, because taking it too far on your face is going to be too powdery or it's going to be too light. It's going to give you that awful flashback that none of us want, as well as it has to do with your powder. I use the Sasha Buttercup even though I'm dark in complexion, but it works perfectly fine for me. I just know not to use too much, and I'm going in with my setting brush and I'm patting it into my skin, pushing it into my skin, removing any excess and also blending it out so I can have that perfect blend of foundation, concealer and setting powder. Now forgive me guys, my lighting, as you can see, it's changing, but I really wanted to go on in and finish this recording for you. But of course, you guys, if you've watched the previous videos before, you know the drill. From here I'll be using my Black Radiance True Complexion dark to deep powder contour, and I'm just gonna be going on below my cheekbone and around my forehead. All right, don't want to be talking too much, but if you don't hear me come back and say anything, ladies, just know I appreciate you guys for being on this journey with me. I'm back. All right, so I decided to use that shade from the It's a Shadow from the James Charles palette because I wanted to mix it with that gold to give me, I had an idea of a shade in my head and I figured why not. So I'm gonna have that golden pink hued highlight, and it was very, very beautiful. I use that word a lot, right? Beautiful. Oh, I'm beautiful. Beautifully flawed, RP. Okay, too much of me now. Alright, so that is a lippy by Kiss, sorry, and it's a matte, somewhat of a dusty pink shade, and I outlined my lip with the Jordana pen to get a particular blend, and it was very nice. Let me not say beautiful. It was very, very, very nice. All right. And I must say sorry guys about the lighting.